Hi, I'm Jennifer Kaufman.
And I'm Eric Lamont. Up next on the Norman News Service, we'll tell you about the Beverly Hills judge charged with fixing his son's parking tickets. Also, we'll have the results from the student body elections, and the 50s will hit Beverly once again. We'll tell you about that.
Also, we'll have the latest from the Board of Education. Carl will have his movie review of Hoosiers, and we'll have all the week's Norman sports. Join Eric and I when we return in just 60 seconds.
Three misdemeanor charges against Beverly Hills Municipal Court Judge Charles Bogues were announced on Thursday, January 29th by Los Angeles District Attorney Ira Reiner. Bogues is accused of improperly suspending fines on 207 parking tickets issued to his son and the boy's friends. According to Reiner, the judge has extended special and favored treatment in this case. Bogues supports his actions, referring to the complicated parking regulations in the city, particularly around the high school. The arraignment will take place on March 3rd. If convicted, Bogues faces up to 1 year in county jail, a fine of $1,000, and removal from the bench. Jenny?
Eric, the Beverly Hills Board of Education has recently begun to involve the district staff in the budget crisis. The Board of Education has held several meetings at each of the schools. During those meetings, the board explained the financial problems to the staff and also consulted the staff on several issues. Teachers, custodian, and classified staff were asked their opinions on certain program cuts that would be made should the parcel tax fail. Also, the board informed the staff of the importance of the parcel tax and outlined ways in which they can help it pass. Board member Dana Tamarkin commented that she hopes the district can involve the entire community in solving the financial crisis. Eric?
Eric Feigenbaum, Corey Freundel, and Matt Feinstein were the victors at the second semester Associated Student Body elections, capturing the offices of ASB President, Vice President, and Secretary, respectively. Winning the office of Senior President was exiting ASB President Evan Silver, while Nina Weber was elected Junior President. The sophomore president is Denise Pep, while the freshman chose Rose Lai to be their president in the first semester of their representation. Nearly 30% of the student body participated in the elections. Now we're going to turn over to Tasha Advani and her guest, Rudy Cole. Tasha?
Hello, I'm here today with Rudy Cole, chairman of the Friends of Greystoke Commission. Hello, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you, Tasha. Good to be here.
Firstly, what does the commission do?
It's a committee, first of all. It's kind of an extension of the foundation. The City Council appointed a group of citizens of Beverly Hills to find some use for Greystone after the departure of the American Film Institute. And our committee is kind of an offspring of that to gain community support for saving Greystone. So we've brought in a lot of people, 5 former mayors and many community leaders in an effort to make sure that we don't sell Greystone. That's the duties of the committee.
What ideas have come about for the use of it?
Well, we lost the Frederick Weissman collection, which is probably one of the outstanding collections of modern art in the world, private modern art in the world, and we were hoping to house the Weissman collection at Greystone. And Weissman pulled out for a lot of reasons, some criticism in the city, but the majority of the people here I really think wanted Weissman and hope that maybe even now he'll still change his mind. If that doesn't work, we're going to seek some other alternative uses. It's an incredible place. As you can see, we also have our private beach right outside of Beverly Hills, extending all the way to Greystone.
What would happen if they sold the mansion?
I think it would be a disaster. We don't really have enough park space in Beverly Hills. We don't have enough open space. And not to inventory city land, particularly something that's as beautiful and as valuable as this is, even though we don't now have an immediate use, I think we will find a use. I think we'll find a use that has some cultural, educational benefits, and maybe even having some relationship with the Beverly Hills school system, but something that will serve the interests of the people who live here.
I heard something about it was intended to be sold and raise money for the school district.
There was a suggestion made following the debacle of the loss of the Weissman collection that maybe we could sell the property and somehow that money be placed in some kind of interest-earning account and the interest be used to support our schools. It's kind of not a legal idea. The city has already increased its support of the schools to $4.5 million. Hopefully the parcel tax will pass. I don't think we need to raid the city's resources to support the schools. I think we have other better ways of doing that, which I favor. But I don't think we can legally sell city assets and turn that money over to the schools. There are other mechanical ways of doing that, legal ways. This isn't one of them.
But if they did sell it and break it down into houses, would that be a bit more economical thing to do?
It might be economical, but we could also sell Roxbury Park and put houses there. We could sell the high school grounds and put a hotel. But I think that, you know, we need to look at the total needs of a city. And the needs of a city including providing libraries, educational tools, and parkland, and this is a great resource that I hope we don't lose. If anybody's seen it, they'd realize what a valuable piece of property it is, and what a valuable piece of property for the city to maintain.
Are many residents in favor of your plan?
I think a majority of the people are. There are some people who live near the property, but not even a majority of them who favor the sale of the property. And that's part of the controversy. But the president of the Homeowner Association in Truesdale is in favor of maintaining and saving Greystone.
Do you think that it will remain a landmark?
I think it is. It is a historical landmark now. That, you know, it's, and I think we will find ways of preserving it. I think it's not going to be easy because the departure of Weissman kind of chilled other possible uses. People are saying, what kind of community is this that turned down an opportunity to have this enormous art collection, this world prestigious art collection? We don't have a museum of this kind in Beverly Hills. We have people that are very concerned about art and no real method of expressing that interest within our own community. So the loss of that may deter others, but I'm encouraged. I think we will find some use for it. We're open to ideas, and hopefully some of your viewers will let us know what they think we can do with Greystone as well. We want it to be a citywide venture.
Who is involved right now in the committee?
Well, a lot of the former mayors, and mayors that are very diverse, like former Mayor Norton is one of the members of our committee, former Mayor Leonard Horwin, former Mayor Dr. Charles Ehrenberg, former Mayor Ed Brown. Those are some of them, and former Mayor Fred Leopold. These are people that don't agree on a lot of issues, but they all agree that Greystone has to be saved. It would really be a loss, mainly for your generation. If our generation didn't find some ways of saving it, it's your generation that would suffer. Maybe we ought to save it only until your generation can find some better use for it. But once you lose something, it's gone forever.
Who is the kind of person that is opposed to your ideas?
Well, in Beverly Hills, I think you could find opposition to the creation of a new stoplight on the corners, but I think that the majority of people of this town realize the importance of saving it. There are those who think we have a greater fiscal crisis than we really do, and they legitimately feel that selling the property will add financial resources to the city.
Well, thank you, and good luck with your committee. And now back to Eric with more Norman News.
Thanks, Tasha. With the election of the new ASB officers, several activities have been planned for the upcoming semester. The first dance of the second semester, a 50s-styled sock hop, is planned for Friday, March 13th in the swim gym. The musical Grease will be promoted at the sock hop by having various scenes acted out during the night. Thursday, March 19th will be the annual Red Cross Blood Drive, and the Junior Welfare Drive will be held the week of March 23rd. The last day of March is expected to be a very special day at Beverly Hills High School. No classes will be held due to the scheduled lecture by David Tomac, an ex-policeman who became hooked on drugs. He will make an over 2-hour speech about the dangers of drugs. Jenny?
Send your sweetheart a Valentine's gram for Valentine's Day. All this week, ASB is selling the grams at the textbook room window at Nutrition and Lunch. The grams cost 25 cents and include a heart-shaped lollipop or a Tootsie Pop. Since Valentine's Day falls on a Saturday and there is no school Friday due to Lincoln's birthday, the grams will be passed out during Period 6 on Thursday, February 12th. We'll now get caught up on all the city news with Colin Yost. Colin?
Thank you, Jenny. Restaurant owners are fuming over the City Council's newly proposed no smoking ordinance. The ordinance would require restaurants with 50 or more seats to have a no smoking section, which would include at least 50% of the seating area. Small restaurant owners believe that the law is discriminatory because it would be a lot easier for large restaurants to reorganize their establishments. In some cases, small eateries would have to install new air conditioning systems and build wall dividers. The large restaurants, even those which would not have to remodel, still have problems with the ordinance. Jim Flax, the owner of Lowry's, is concerned that having smoking and non-smoking sections in his 300-seat steakhouse would ruin the atmosphere. Hotels also complain about the proposal because they don't want their smoking customers to feel uncomfortable in any part of the hotel. Some people would rather support a 100% smoking law, and others would move their restaurants out of Beverly Hills to avoid the restrictions. City Council will formally propose the ordinance at today's meeting, and the restaurant owners will have a chance to express their views at a February 17th council meeting. In an informal survey of Beverly students on the issue of smoking laws, 90% agreed with the council's 50-50 plan, while 10% wanted a 100% ban on smoking in restaurants and other public places. Jenny?
Thank you, Colin. An interview with Larry Flint, publisher of Hustler magazine, is not a normal homework assignment. Seniors Gita Amar and Stacy Tuchin went beyond the average when they did their community project on pornography. Amar and Tuchin, who are both in Allie Jason's AP Political Science class, spent 2.5 hours interviewing Flint at his Century City office on Monday, January 22nd. Flint commented that Hustler exploits women like Sports Illustrated exploits sports. As for his business, Flint said that he loves to have the money in one hand and the women in the other. Amar and Tuchin also conducted their research by venturing into adult bookstores and movie theaters. Dr. Joan Alamon, Beverly's art history and drawing teacher, was recently honored with the National Supervision and Administration Award for 1987. The recognition was presented to Alamon by the National Art Education Association. Alamon was chosen in recognition of her 11-year career in the arts for Beverly Hills School District. Alamon was previously recognized at the 1986 National Art Education Association Convention in New Orleans as Pacific Regional Supervisor of the Year. Alamon, who is currently president of the California Art Education Association, will receive the coveted award at an April administration luncheon in Boston. We now turn to an interview with Gita Amar and her guest, Dr. Joan Alamon. Gita?
Thank you, Jenny. Congratulations on winning the award, Dr. Alamon. How were you judged for this award? What was the basis of winning?
Well, Gita, I appreciate being here this morning to have a chance to talk with the students and to state that the award was given by a committee of national educators meeting in New Orleans and then in Washington, D.C., where the National Art Education Association is located. And they had a screening committee, and they selected it on the contributions to my local community, to the state, county, and national services to forward art education, especially the visual arts, so that it was a national committee, and the names were selected from the award winners from last year that won on the state area, state and then the Pacific region. I had been recognized from Alaska to Hawaii, Canada, and I said intergalactic next.
Since March is Youth Art Month, what plans are there for Beverly for getting involved in this?
Well, we've had recently a screening and a competition to send work to Sacramento, and several pieces from Beverly Hills High School students will be on exhibit in the state capitol, in the Sacramento airport, and in the Department of Education. California's education is under a superintendent, Mr. Honig, and his offices are near the Capitol, and so there'll be a display in that area. And Mrs. Duke-Majan, Gloria Duke-Majan, will assist me with handing out certificates, and hopefully some of the children will be able to actually travel to Sacramento and be in the Capitol. There'll be about 160 students who are recognized from San Diego to Monterey, the entire state.
There's also a Scholastic Art Awards competition that's going on right now. How is Beverly doing in that?
Well, the judging is going on at this very moment as we speak, and hopefully Beverly Hills Unified School District will shine as they always do as the lighthouse district that we're so proud of. The students in grades 7 through 12 are eligible. The contest is, I think, approximately 57 years old, and the students who are selected for display at their work for display at Otis Parsons will know in the next 2 days, and then the show opens February 20th, and it will be available to the public through the 28th. at Otis Parsons Gallery, which is on Wilshire Boulevard near Vermont. I'd encourage the student body to attend, and hopefully if we have another interview, I can tell you how wonderfully we were received. The children and the young adults who win the blue ribbons, their work goes to New York, and in New York it's judged with the entire state. And then the students have a chance to win cash prizes, scholarships, national recognition. It's a wonderful opportunity for Beverly Hills students to see how they compete locally and statewide and then nationally.
You're also president of the California Art Education. What does your organization do?
Well, our main purpose is to foster quality art education for everyone, kindergarten through adult education. We have 2,000 members. It's a active group. We put on teacher in-service workshops. On March 20th, there will be in Cypress College a workshop for teachers to learn new techniques in the arts. On that same day, March 20th, however, I'll be in Sacramento with Mrs. Dukmajian at the Youth Art Month Awards.
I see. So you don't feel that students have any apathy toward art, which is a common saying?
Oh, contrary. The students in Beverly Hills High School are extremely involved in the arts, and I am very fortunate and very proud to be a member of the faculty here. It's an outstanding visual arts department, the leader in the country. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. And back to Jenny with more Norman news.
Thank you, Gita. 10 students chosen from the debate team will compete in the UC Berkeley tournament over the President's Weekend, February 13th to the 16th. The UC Berkeley tournament is one of the most significant tournaments of the year. The debate team will compete in 6 rounds of Lincoln-Douglas debates, which are 1-on-1 debates. The team this year includes Robert Rich, Sean Eskovitz, Stephen Fisher, Adam Fine, Adam Feinberg, Matt Levinson, Curtis Cates, Nadia Alihu, Samantha Beagle, and Bridget Arnall. Over 100 high schools will be competing. Eric?
Well, Jenny, the California Scholarship Federation will be making its annual trip to Disneyland on Friday, March 27th. All Southern California chapters are invited. Disneyland will be closed to the general public from 8 o'clock in the evening to 1 o'clock in the morning. There is a $12 fee, and permission slips are available in the History Resource Center. The bus leaves Beverly Hills High at 6:30, and CSF members are welcome. However, space is limited. Now, with all of this week's Norman Sports, is David Corwin and Julie Heimler. Dave?
Thank you, Eric. Well, by defeating Miracosta Friday night, the boys' varsity basketball team kept its CIF playoff hopes alive. The Normans held off the Mustangs 44-43 and can advance to the playoffs for the first time since 1983 if they beat both Culver City and Inglewood this week. Coach Jack Dyke admitted that the win wasn't pretty, but said that at this point we'll take a win any way we can get one. Lincoln Sneed and Derek Patton led the balanced scoring attack with 10 points apiece, and juniors Monroe Gordon and Willie Crawford added 8 points to account for the victory over Miracosta. Beverly is now 4-4 in league play and 11-10 overall. On Wednesday, February 4th, Crawford scored 13 points against Hawthorne, but the results weren't as good as the Normans fell to the Cougars 56-46. Beverly will travel to Culver City Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and the game that will most likely determine if the Normans go to the playoffs will be played in the swim gym on Friday night at 7:30. It was a great week for the junior varsity basketball team as well. Last Wednesday, the Hawthorne Cougars took an early lead, but the Normans came back to win 57-55 as Hawthorne's last-ditch effort fell short. On Friday, Beverly had a big lead against Miracosta but couldn't hold on and had to go into overtime. But the Normans outscored Miracosta by 7 points to win 62-55. The team is led by junior Michael Foonberg, who scored 21 and 19 points respectively. The Normans are 14-3 overall and 6-2 in league play. The team plays at Culver City on Wednesday and at home against Inglewood Friday night. Julie?
Thank you, David. Well, with a victory over Hawthorne, the boys' varsity soccer team breaks their 3-game losing streak. The Normans defeated Hawthorne 1-0 on a goal tipped in by a member of the Cougar offense on a corner kick by sophomore Scott Reese. The team then lost to first-place Miracosta 4-0. The Normans held Miracosta to a scoreless first half, but after 1 minute into the second half, Miracosta scored their first goal and dominated the rest of the game. The team will face Santa Monica and Culver City and try to increase their 2, 4, and 1 Ocean League record. Losing to Miracosta 3-2, The girls' varsity soccer team could still capture a playoff berth. The game was very close and everyone played well, according to Coach Dick Billingsley. However, Roxana McClendon and Nicole Lewis stood out with exceptional play. The Booters go on to face Santa Monica on Tuesday and Culver City on Thursday. According to team member Nicole Lewis, they should be very tough games. Well, the girls' varsity basketball team lost their chance to participate in the CIF playoffs as they lost to Hawthorne by 37 points on Tuesday, February 3rd. They also were defeated by Mira Costa, giving up 12 points on Thursday, February 5th. Even though they were badly defeated, Tina Tamora, the #1 player on the team, did score many of the team's points in both games. Currently, they are 2-6 in league, and they have 2 more games to play. They will compete against Culver City on Tuesday, February 10th. Their final game against Inglewood on Thursday, February 12th will end the season. Now we're going to go back to more Norman news with Jenny.
Thank you, Julie. Beverly Hills High School has 2 new additions to the English department, Herb Hall and April Garrett. Hall, who worked at Beverly previously as a substitute teacher, now teaches senior English. Before coming to Beverly, Hall taught for 13 years in San Diego. Garrett, who is in her 3rd year of teaching, taught at Washington Preparatory High School before coming to Beverly. Garrett currently teaches 9th and 10th grade English. Eric?
Well, Jenny, Beverly students will have the opportunity to compete in the National Bicentennial Writing Competition. The contest is aimed to deepen high school students' understanding of the Constitution. Participants will be required to write a 1,500-word essay on how the separation of powers helps make the Constitution work. First-place winners will receive $1,000 and an all-expense-paid trip to Washington, D.C., where they will compete in September for $10,000. All entries must be received by April 15th and may be turned in to social studies teachers. Now here to tell us the real story behind our school's mascot is Rebecca Weigold. Rebecca?
Thank you, Eric. What is a Norman? Do you know? Several students questioned asked whether it was really a word. Karen Akiba thinks it is the man who founded Beverly Hills High School. Carl Levin thinks it is the guy in modern civilization that fought against the Tartars. Normans are the Buffalo Lodge people on the Flintstones, asserts Gigi Houghton. About 30% of the people questioned were close to the real definition. According to World Book Encyclopedia, Normans were a group of Vikings who first settled in France and then spread into England, southern Italy, and Sicily. Many became famous as administrators, church leaders, and crusaders. In 1927, when the school was founded, Beverly was the Tartars. In 1931, the nickname changed to the Normans, as it has been since then. According to Vice Principal Ruth Friedman, the nickname was chosen by the student body. Many other high schools in the Los Angeles district have also chosen ferocious names to emulate. They're the Torrance Tartars, so fierce that people used to associate them with Tartarus, an ancient name for hell, says World Book. The Saracens from Harvard High School are named for Muslims who invaded Asia, Africa, and Europe during the 16 and 1700s. And then there are the Saxons, today North Torrance, in 1066 conquered by the mighty Normans. So when you're out there cheering on our team, remember our history and the proud warriors that the Normans were. And now back to more Norman news with Eric.
Thank you, Rebecca. Right now, most Beverly seniors are dealing with college acceptances and rejections, but in addition to that, senior Alyssa Tabora will take on the job of editor-in-chief of Highlights, Beverly's weekly newspaper. This is Tabora's 2nd year on the staff, and she has been opinion, news, and feature editors. As for this semester's newspaper, Tabora plans to use more graphics, include a wider variety of stories, and concentrate on controversial issues. Now we're going to go over to Carl Levin and his review of the movie Hoosiers. Carl?
Thank you, Eric. Thank goodness for actors like Gene Hackman. He turned a predictable, unoriginal, and often boring script into one of the finest movies of the season. I'm of course talking about Hoosiers, the latest sports epic to hit the silver screen from veteran producer Carter DeHaven. Hoosiers is a story of a small town's losing high school basketball team in where else but Indiana, who undergo a remarkable change due to a new coach played by Hackman. You can hate the game of basketball and still have a good time watching some well-executed on-the-court scenes. Of course, if you like the sport, you'll love the movie. In this clip, you can get a feel for some of the scenes that I'm talking about.
All right, let's go. What's the matter with you guys? What's the matter with you?
I'll make it.
All right. Buddy, get the ball to Jimmy, top of the key. Rustin, spread the floor. Let's go. Let's eat.
Barbara Hershey and Dennis Hopper put in fine supporting performances, and even the players on the team are not only very good actors, but could teach the Norman squad a few things about the game of basketball. I won't give away the plot, but what happens after the first 30 minutes isn't very exciting. Guess what happens to the losing team? They start winning. A rated PG from Orion Pictures, Hoosiers gets an 8 if you absolutely never miss a Lakers or Clippers game, a 6 if you're just looking for something to do on a Saturday night, and so if that's right, it averages out to a shaky 7. Hoosiers did not go straight to my heart, as all of its promotion states, but the movie did go straight to my wallet, as tickets once again went up in price to $6.50. I guess that's life in the big city, but let's go back to more Norman news with Eric.
Thank you so much, Carl. A busload of Beverly students will journey to Lake Tahoe to ski for 4 days over President's Weekend. Members of the ski club are paying $245 to ski, and they will stay at the Belcourt Lodge. They will leave at 4 o'clock Thursday, February 12th, and will return by midnight on February 16th. The students will be chaperoned by 3 staff members of the Recreation and Parks Department. Jenny.
Eric, the Advanced Placement French class got a real taste of French culture last Tuesday, February 3rd. The class, taught by Pamela Klein, ate a French meal at the restaurant Cassis on 3rd Street. The meal consisted of brie cheese and a pastry shell, coq au vin, which is chicken and wine sauce, and a chocolate mousse cake for dessert. The one rule for the evening, everyone had to speak French. That's all for this week's edition of the Norman News Service. Join us next week and we'll have an update on the Board of Education and film coverage of Valentine's Party at the Los Angeles City School for Handicapped Children.
Plus, we'll have the city news and all of the week's sports. Until then, have a great week.